No man's camping in astronomy room.
We've lost her. Today I'm going to start building a desk to accommodate a gaming system that my husband is building for our daughter for Christmas. Instead of winging it like I normally would have, I decided in this case to try a plan from Anna White. And I gotta say, I was pretty impressed. There's some really great plans, especially for something like a desk on that website. So if you're thinking about doing something like this is not a bad way to go about it. I did, however, increase the dimensions a lot from this plan because I wanted this desk to be a lot bigger than what was on the plan. And luckily, the day I went to Home Depot to check out the wood section, they had a nice piece of birch that I thought would be lovely. And there was a very nice man there named Emilio who was willing to do some cuts for me, which was really helpful because I still don't have a table saw. Of course, I took measurements before I went to buy the wood, but when I got it home, it seemed like that tabletop was going to be gargantuan. So I went up to her room and I measured out the space that it would take up on the floor just using some ribbon, and I think it's gonna fit okay. Now, this project requires the use of a pocket hole jig, which I have actually never used before. I've had this for a while. My kids got it for me as a gift, and I am very embarrassed to say that I never learned how to use it. But hey, now's a good time. I did a couple of test runs first on some scrap pieces just to make sure I was getting it right, and I'm really glad I did. Ah! Oh, crap. Now, something else I just figured out. There is a difference between pocket hole screws and regular construction screws. Pocket hole screws are self-tapping, and what that means is when you drill it in, you don't have to pre-drill the additional piece of wood that you're screwing your first piece of wood into. If you're going to use regular construction screws, that's fine, but just make sure that you pre-drill your hole for this second piece of wood through that original pocket hole so that you can screw this in and it won't crack. All right, so now that I've gotten the three main pieces of this put together, I'm getting pretty close to being finished and just putting the finishing touches on, but I'm finding that I really don't like this raw edge of this wood. It just looks a little unfinished. So I went and I got some simple trim from my local home improvement store, and I'm just gonna glue it onto the front like that. Now, one thing that makes this project a lot easier is that I have this miter saw, because not only can I get nice straight cuts, but I can also do 45-degree angles perfectly. Now, not everybody has this, of course, but you can do this with a circular saw or a jigsaw or even a handsaw, especially on little trim like this. Your lines might not come out quite as perfect, but it's definitely doable. ideal world, I would have one of these big clamps every foot or so. But unfortunately, they're pretty expensive and I only have 2 of them. But I had this crazy idea in the middle of the night, like you do, laying awake in bed. And I have a ton of these little clamps that are about $1 at your local home improvement store. So what I'm gonna do is take some of this fabric, just little swatches of fabric, little old t-shirt, rip it up, and just stretch it as tight as I can using that clamp to kind of help hold it in place and apply some pressure to make sure that the glue adheres well between the trim and the top of the table. So I just ran to Home Depot real quick and I got myself one of these. This is a hole dozer and it's to drill a nice big fat perfectly round hole in the back of the desk so that the cords can drop through it. Oh, that was kind of terrifying actually, with as much work as I've put into this, to all of a sudden be drilling a hole in it. It was actually quite scary. I was really afraid I was gonna mess it up. Now I've heard a lot of people say that you should use a foam brush to put on a top coat. And although that does seem to eliminate the brush strokes, I've found that it also increases the bubbles that are in there, and that doesn't really help me at all. So instead, what I'm using today is this is just water-based, polyurethane from Varathane, but it's this triple thick version of it, and it says self-leveling, so hopefully that'll give it time to kind of let all the bubbles come out and level itself out so there's no brush strokes. I'll just have to see. I've never used this. And I've also sprung for a new fancy brush. Paid about 12 bucks for this brush, so it better be good. I did a total of 5 coats of polyurethane on this project, sanding and cleaning in between each, of course. And on the last 2, I used a foam brush because I noticed that I was still seeing a lot of brush strokes and bubbles in the finish. The self-leveling feature of this product is kind of bogus, in my opinion, because it just dries way too quickly for it to be self-leveling. All right, so it's Christmas Eve. I'm about 3 glasses of wine in at this point, but I had a few more things to do on this, so I had to come back downstairs. I added this tray to accommodate a power strip so that you don't have cords laying all over the place, which is nice. And I also added these LED lights, which was my husband's idea, and they're magnetic, so I added a little metal strip here at the bottom for those. Of course, the computer is gonna be the big deal to a 12-year-old, but I'm pretty damn proud of this desk, so I'm excited to give it to her tomorrow. Dude! What? Dude!
Hanging up my decoration just like every other year. From fairy lights to wrapping paper and my cuddly toy reindeer. And everyone is going crazy, forever waiting in the line. The children run around in circles. Radio plays songs I've heard a million times, spinning around my mind, looking for something to hide, 'cause I know that I won't find.
It's Christmas Eve. I'm about 3 glasses in now. I finally put some finishing. Oh my God. I should do more videos where I'm slightly drunk. That would be awesome, right? Drunk power tool videos. That's an awesome idea. 2021, baby. As long as I'm not using saws, it's probably relatively safe, right?